thought that travel is the most educational experience and most awakening, broadening, enlightening experience that you can have as a person yourself. So to get it at such a young age, I think it really kick-starts them into their career, and I think it makes the whole career seem very real.
Well, anytime that young people can be taught by people who are passing on craft, I think it's an important part of our heritage. It's a chance to pass on to another generation a music, a sound, songs, a literature in its own way that would pass away if it's not kept alive. There has to be somebody transferring that interest and that love for this music to the next generation and the generation beyond that.
Take a breath, take all you need. There's no need to hurry, we've got all day.
The city's just incredible because everyone's like a movie character. Every place is like a setting for something you've seen or heard of or heard sung about. There are bright lights, there are loud people, there are pretzel carts, which I loved. There are these like steaming potholes in the middle of the street, and you just walk through it feeling incredibly anonymous because there are millions of other people in the city. And at the same time you feel like you have a reason to be there and you have somewhere to go. And I think that's when you're going to enjoy the city most, because the great thing about the scholarship is it's not just a holiday. It's got a really strong agenda behind what you're going to do, who you're going to meet, where you're going to sing and perform and what you're going to see. And you feel active and useful, and that's when the city's at its best, really.
When I received the news that I was actually selected, I was absolutely blown away, and yeah, kind of numb at the start. I didn't quite think about how it was actually going to affect my life, and then I kind of got home, and it wasn't until I was talking to family and friends about it that I realised, you know, this is going to change my life, and it did.
Well, about 6 years ago, I received a call from a woman named Mary Lopez. I did not know Mary. She's from Sydney, Australia, and she told me about a program that she had created in Australia, the Talent Development Project. And it was to nurture young talent in all genres of music, in particular musical theatre and cabaret.
The Talent Development Project is a really special program that prepares young people from government schools for a career in the entertainment and music industry.
Mary had heard about our program, the ASCAP Musical Theatre Development Program, run by the great composer Stephen Schwartz, who wrote Wicked and Godspell. And Mary, though, assumed that our program was to develop talented performers. I told her, though, our program was to develop young songwriters. I since learned that you never say no to Mary, and Mary just decided that, well, maybe there's a way that her young graduate students could come to America and still participate in our program somehow. I guess she had the idea that musical theater performers meeting musical theater composers and lyricists might make for a great opportunity for her students. And it turned out, of course, she was right.
Well, I think it's always interesting for people in whatever field of musical theater to be part of a process that examines how musical theater gets made, how it can be improved. What your project does for performers is comparable to what this project does for writers. So I think there's sort of something in common about where in the process they are.
We are the people who are the people who call your people. When they say, have your people call my people, we are the people who your people have to call. And that isn't all said of me.
Out of usually a couple hundred submissions, we select sometimes for this year 6 shows, and each of the shows does a presentation, and then there's a panel of professionals who give a critique and some suggestions about the presentation. The whole idea is to learn about the craft of writing for musical theater, book structure, how songs work within the context of telling a story.
So every year for the last 5 years now, Mary sends 2 or 3 students a year to America. They sit in and audit our musical theater program. They get to meet some of the great American composers and lyricists for the theater. And in addition to that, Mary and I put together a program whereby the young performers who come here could get educated by dealing directly with and working directly with some of the best talent when it comes to musical theater directing, directors for cabaret, master classes in musical theater performance, and cabaret performance.
Anytime you laugh, anytime you cry, anytime you hear the sound.
Chris Denny is one of the finest musical directors we have in the States. He works with some of the great cabaret artists.
I was here last year when 3 other people came across with this same scholarship, and I thought it was wonderful. And it just happens that my goal needed someone else to work with them this year, and I was really eager to do it. I've had a long-standing association with Aussie singers here in New York. I spent 4 years working closely with David Campbell back in the late 90s.
I am very joyful. I am very joyful.
Chris was amazing. I learned so much from him from every time we met up and went over songs. I felt like I left having so much more to work on, and it's really good to give yourself some focus, something to work towards. Yeah, he was really critical but encouraging as well.
You know, they're amazingly quick. They're amazingly bright and well-trained, and so it was really a joy to just sort of get in elbow deep and work through a lot of material and choose what they wanted to do. I'm doing stop time. Just all right. Now I prove
again. I'm about to take that tip again. Got my grip again.
To also spend a little time kind of coaching, trying to push them a hair beyond their comfort zone, just for the purposes of having a good experience here.
He was very different to people I've worked with before in that he gave a lot more of his opinion, which was very, very helpful in the making of the showcase. And yeah, he was very efficient and just fantastic working with him.
This year, for the first time, we had a young performer, Jess Hitchcock, who has a jazz background. So Mary Lopez had sent me an email saying, was there a way that Jess could study with somebody in New York? And the best person I could recommend is a woman named Nancy Morano.
Now
think what you're going to say next.
then I remember last September, you and I.
Nancy taught me a lot about the feel of jazz, and she taught me about interpreting the music in my own way, and just that in music in general you really have to look at the lyrics and kind of make your own interpretation of it through the lyrics, but also through the music and the rhythm, and just changing it all up so that it comes from you and not just from the sheet of paper.
And then as you're singing that, you picture that lyric so that when you're seeing it yourself, you'll be able to convey that more, okay? Yeah. And your breathing will depend on your phrasing, obviously.
Okay, I've gotten calls all week that this girl is in town. She's from Australia, which is far away. Yeah. And she's in town for a couple days doing some shows, and I can't wait to hear her. Where's Jessica Hitchcock? Jessica, there you are. Ladies and gentlemen, Jessica Hitchcock. Welcome. Wait, is this your New York debut right here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it actually is.
It really is?
It really is.
Oh, I'm so excited.
First time I'm seeing it in New York.
Oh, yay.
Here I go again. I hear those trumpets blow again. All aglow again. Taking a chance on love. Here I slide again. About to take that ride again. Starry-eyed again. Taking a chance on love. I thought the glamour frame of I never would try. But now I'm taking a game up in the ace of hearts is high. On the ball again. I'm heading for a fall again. I'm gonna give it my all again. Taking a chance on love. Here I slip again. I'm about to take that tip again. Got my grip again. Taking a chance on
Birdland was amazing. I've always wanted to sing there. It's been one of my dreams, and so getting to sing there twice was so much fun. Jim Caruso, who did the cast party, was amazing. He's just the nicest guy ever, and he's just really supportive of everyone that comes in there. And yeah, the atmosphere that was in there was just, I don't know, it gave me goosebumps.
again. I'm gonna give it my all again. Taking a chance on
And at the end of their stay here in the States, the young performers actually put together a small cabaret afternoon performance. And ASCAP invites some of the songwriters whose works they're going to perform, and we invite some of the leading people from the theater and cabaret community as their audience.
Half of or more of the composers of the songs that I was singing just made it along to see the show and just made some time to come and support young talent, which was we were so grateful for that.
Anytime you laugh, anytime you cry, anytime you hear a sound, when you're on the grass, lying on the ground, anytime you wash your hands, I'll be around. I'm out there on the baseball fields, though I'm well concealed, I'll be out there cheering. I am there in the books you read, it is guaranteed. I'm not disappearing fast. Anytime, no, not anytime. And I am there each morning.
Before the scholarship, everything was speculation in terms of, oh, you know, I'll do all this work, I'll sing, dance and act, and I'll work and I'll do and I'll study, but gee, what, you know, I got to get an agent, I got to do. There was no place you could go where there was an end game, a payoff.
I am there in sky.
You know, however many of us now have gone through it and have just come away with such such a wealth of knowledge from the time that we spent over there. And if you are serious about performing in the musical theatre industry, then you know, sending a few people or a couple of people over to New York to work with these people could not be a better springboard for any actor, any performer.
When I came back, I just wanted to work so much harder and be so much better, because I've seen where it can take me.
Anytime it's night, anytime the earth moves, I'll be around.
There's nothing like this anywhere else on the planet.
I'll never forget that moment in my life where I was awarded the scholarship and was able to go over there and pursue a lifelong dream.
This is a golden opportunity for any young person who aspires to do this. And the irony is that very few places that Americans would be able to go to get some of this attention, and frankly, to get Stephen Schwartz and you know, some of these writers and directors who show up at this particular event, there's nothing they could probably do that would get those people's attention. And now Adam and Jess can probably invite them out to lunch next week. So, you know, it's a wonderful mixture of giving them an opportunity to actually be noticed and to be you know, taken care of in a way, and to be introduced to a segment of society that really otherwise there's just no way without ASCAP and without you know, the talent development people. It wouldn't be possible. There's no other way to do it.
These young Australian talents come to America. They get to work with and learn from the best, and then, most importantly, they get to go home and take the knowledge that they gained here in the States, bring it home, and pass it on to others when they're there. It's an amazing opportunity.
If I've learned anything from being on this trip, it's that you have to pursue what you want, and if someone says no, ask them why. Say, why did you say no? And just keep going, keep pushing forward, and you'll make it.